Hi to YouTube. Welcome back to episode 3 of the Losing My Virginity PC gaming build. Got some new parts in today, and so we're going to go through them, and then as promised in that last video, we are going to set the motherboard in the case before this video is over. It might be a little bit long, but we're going to get it all done today. First thing I want to talk about is the Samsung 980 Pro PCIe 4.0 NVMe M2 slot 500 gig. But anyway, it's got a 5-year limited warranty. It's got such small print on it. I'm not even going to try and read that. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what's in it for instructions. Not sure how this opens. Looks like it's got, yeah, right here it's got a seal. I guess I need to cut this seal tape right here. Maybe I should have figured this out before I started the tape, huh? Nope, I think I got her. There we go. Okay. Trying an overhead camera and see how that works. Boy, that's small and tiny. There's nothing else in the box. I thought it was bigger than this. I've never used an M.2 hard drive before, so I have no idea what to expect. I've been doing a lot of reading on it. They seem to be pretty simple to install, but if you remember correctly, when I did that video on the motherboard, it had a little rubber square thing that's supposed to be for the M.2. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research and find out exactly what that's for. I don't think that the rest of this comes apart. There is no documentation or anything in it that I can see. Oh, I take that back. Looks like there is something on the bottom there. There we go. Yep, there is. Okay. So there's the M.2, and then on the bottom here, we have quite a big manual here. Off camera, I will do a little bit of research and find out what that little rubber pad is for, because I think I'm supposed to put that underneath the M.2 for vibration or something. Yeah, this just talks about, I've got my wrong glasses on again. Hold on a second. Sucks getting old. I have 2 pairs of glasses, one for reading, one for the computer. Oh, that's better. Now I can see a little more. It says how to install for a 2.5-inch laptop. We don't do that. How to install for an M.2 SSD. And gives you diagrams. It looks pretty simple. And then the rest of it. The rest of it's just all a bunch of Chinese and, oh, what's this? Download Samsung Magician. Keep your drive performance up and always up to date with the essential toolkit. It's just like magic. Get more from Samsung Magician. So that's some software you can download, I guess. Okay. I think that's used for cloning too. You can clone with that. I'm not sure. I've been doing some research online, and there's several freeware programs that do cloning. So, but basically, it's just a basic, easy setup diagrams of how to install it and stuff. But doesn't look too hard. It's got a bunch of small lettering on it, but I can't read it. If you want more, this is one of the better one of the better M.2s you can buy. I paid $119.99 for it on Amazon. I could have found some cheaper, 500 gigs cheaper, but this one got some really good reviews. It's supposed to be really fast, and I'm not really putting this computer together on a budget. There is a budget. I mean, that's why I'm having to buy these parts a little bit at a time, because I don't have the money to buy all of them at the same time. But on the second hand, I'm not really going for all the cheapest parts I can find. Okay, I'm going for what I think is going to help me the most in the future. This PC build is more to future compatibility. I want to be able to upgrade it. I know the 3600 probably isn't the best CPU. I think it's the best CPU for the money. But there are like the 5950X and several different ones that are probably a whole lot stronger, better CPU for gaming. But I think the 3600 is a big step up from my i5 6600K. And yet it's still expandable. I can still, at a later date, change that CPU up for something better. So that's basically my goal, my motivation for building this PC, is I want something that's got a little bit of future compatibility, future proofing, I guess what a lot of people say. And so I'm not necessarily going with every cheapest part I can find. I'm going with what I think is going to last me and is going to be compatible for several years to come, which I hope anyway. I went with the G.Skill Trident Z RGB DDR4 RAM, two 8GB sticks for a total of 16. That will give me my dual.
I didn't understand that.
Oh shoot, my watch is going off. Never mind. Anyway, go for dual channel. That's what I was trying to say. And these are 3200 speed, 16 ml. And I think they'll do me just fine. I wanted the RGB because the Arctic AIO that I'm buying does not have RGB unless I change the fans out, which I may decide to do yet. I haven't decided. When we get this all built, if it looks really good except no RGB coming off the top, then we might just go ahead and change out those fans and put some RGB fans on the Arctic. But these also got very good reviews online. I'm sure you've seen RAM sticks before, and I'm not going to take them out of the box right now until we get ready to put them in. They're DDR2 3200 CL16 1838 1.35 volts. Anyway, we're not going to take it out of the case. I'm sure you've seen RAM before. It's nothing special. It did get very good reviews online. I watched several videos on RAM trying to understand what all the numbers and stuff mean, and the latency and the speed and how much that Ryzen CPU can handle. They said anything over 3600 is just a waste of money. And right now I'm running 2133 RAM. I'm not sure of the brand. I believe it's Corsair Vengeance in my old computer. But 2133, they're pretty slow. And so that's why I went with the 3200. And I think that's a good sweet spot price-wise. And it should give me really good performance. Let's go ahead and take it out of the box. Alright. We'll just leave the Wi-Fi in there for now. We won't need that until later. The first thing we need to do is pull this out. We're going to need the motherboard. this out. So about the parts, that way I can get rid of this box. Nothing else in there. We'll get the manual out in case we need it. Ain't gonna worry about that. Ain't gonna say the cables. We will need that. We'll go ahead and put that in right away before I forget. Alright, now let's just set this down here. No, I'll take that back. We're gonna put the motherboard on here, so while we're putting in the CPU and stuff, we've got a platform for it. And I've never had any problem with static electricity in this room. And I'm in here all the time. That's kind of my gaming room. And I don't ever remember getting shocked by touching something metal. Okay, there's the motherboard. Set this aside. Put this over here for now. Let's go ahead and put the AIO shield in before I forget, because that's something I would do. Not only do I need 2 pairs of glasses, I need to constantly remind myself about stuff too, because I'm always forgetting things. My memory is going quick. Okay, and I think, let's look at the back of the computer. The motherboard is going to go in here just like that. No, like that. Put the AIO like that. Okay. This is going to go in here. And it's supposed to just press in. From what I understand, this is the right hole for it. Now you hear it click, that's what I'm told. And it clicked up on top here. Okay, that goes in just like that. I believe that's in all the way. It looks solid, looks steady in there. And just to be sure, I've got it the right way. Yep, I do. Okay. Alright, just wanted to make sure I didn't put it in upside down. Okay, let's put this case aside. Let's bring this around. I know this little handle here has to come up. There we go. It's supposed to be a little bitty arrow on the corner. Let's get the CPU out. This is exciting. Of course, I'm not Jay-Z or Linus Tech or anything like that. They can probably do this in 30 minutes blindfolded. It's probably going to take me at least 3 or 4 45-minute episodes. They say when you pull this out not to touch just grab it by the sides. And there's supposed to be a little arrow, or a little triangle. It gives you right there. It is. Boy, that's tiny. Little bitty thing. I believe this is the right. I believe that's right. Got a little bitty arrow right there, and then on the motherboard there's another one in this corner, but you can barely see it. I'm supposed to press it in. I'm supposed to line it up just like that and set it in. That should be correct. My triangles are lined up. I didn't push it in. It just dropped in by itself. We take this little lever and pull it down. And now we should have our CPU in. That's all there is to that CPU. We're not going to worry about the cooler because we're putting the AIO on it when I order it. Probably order it this week. I'm thinking either this week or next week. But we'll worry about that later. Next thing, I think we're going to put in the M.2. It's right here. I did some research on that. I need to get that out. That's in the box here. I did some research on that little rubber pad, and when you have there's two types of M.2s. One's the single-sided, one's the double-sided. If you're using a single-sided, you add that pad to it. I think we're going to use this one though, because it's got the heat sink. This is another thing I looked into. It doesn't matter which one you use. It doesn't really affect performance or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and use the one on the bottom here that's already got the heat sink. But that little rubber pad depends upon whether you use it or not. Depends upon whether you've got a single-sided or double-sided M.2. The M.2 that I bought, the Samsung 980, is single-sided. So I'm going to need to use that rubber pad on here. Let's get that out. This is the pad, and we're going to need the M.2 screws, little bitty things. And we'll close this up. Okay, and then I'm going to get the screwdrivers out. We won't take those out of the bags yet. Oops. Let's go ahead. Set this on the box. Put this up a little bit higher and I can see things a little easier. Okay. Let me get the screwdriver out. I guess that's it. Okay, we got that one. I'm probably being overcautious. But being the first time doing this, I'd rather be overcautious than not cautious enough. I want to know that I'm doing things the right way the first time. That looks a little tough, but she came out. That. screws it. Looks like it kind of screws right into the heatsink too. Okay, right here is the pad that I was telling you about. And they said if you have a single-sided, add that other pad to the top of this one. This M.2 slot over here does not have a pad. So I don't know what the difference between this one and this one is. But since this one has the pad, we're going to use it. And we have a 2280, but that is just such small, which I believe this is a screw we're going to need right there. So before, let's go ahead and get that pad. It looks like it's just a little, like a little sticker. I'm just going to set it down here so you can see it. It's just a little bitty piece of a rubber pad. It's got a sticker thing on the back. So you just peel this off. Like that. You know, I really could use as a tweezers. I probably have a pair out in the garage. Okay, now this goes, which one? I'll do that light. I'd like to have plenty of light when I'm doing stuff like this. I can see what I'm doing. I apologize if that's getting into the camera. Okay, that goes on there just like that. That's nice and straight. Anyway, that's what that rubber pad is for. Okay, and like I said, it depends upon whether you have a single-sided or double-sided M.2. If you have a double-sided M.2, that pad I just put on there is not necessary. And it actually said with the single one, it's optional. So I don't know what the deal with that is. Okay, we can throw that away. Get another little package. Now this package here has 2 little bitty screws and 2 standoffs. Okay, and we got to put the standoff first in the correct hole. M.2 is come in different lengths. You've got 2118, 2280, looks like 2250 or something like that, and then 2242. And ours is the 2280 M.2. So we'll be using this stud right here. So I'm going to put these in this case. We'll take one of these standoffs and put it in the correct slot. Now if you buy an M.2 that's a different length, you would put this either in whichever hole aligns with your M.2. And these standoffs just screw in finger tight. Don't have to be real tight. Just like that. Now we're ready for the M.2. Hey, I got the box open this time. Okay. Let's pull this out. This is supposed to go in right here, like that. You're supposed to make sure it goes in all the way, just like that. Did you hear it click? And I don't see any of the brass pins left. So then we just hold that down like that. and take one of these small little bitty screws. If I can hold on to it long enough. Okay, so we're going to pull that down and put that screw in right here. Try not to cross thread it. If we can, that would be real nice. And the M.2 is in! One step down, about 50 more to go. Now, I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and a guy had a real good idea, because you get 2 screws and 2 standoffs. So what he did is he took the spare M.2 slot and put the standoff in that M.2 slot. That way, if I ever want to add another M.2 SSD, I'll know right where the screw and standoff is. I don't have to worry about it getting lost. It'll be in the motherboard when I'm ready for it. I thought that was a pretty good idea. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to put that in here for safekeeping. Okay, we got that in. Now on the heat sink, if I can find it. What did I do? Here it is. The heat sink actually has another sticker on the back that has to be peeled off. And then once you peel that sticker off, you put it back on. Just like that. Okay. Got that one in. And got that one in. Alright, we got the M.2s in there. It looks secure. Alright, now the next thing is going to be the RAM. Okay, let's get the memory out. If I can find it. Here it is. Trident Z RGB. That looks easy enough to take out. Just got a little piece of tape right here. That just pops out like that. Okay. Half the job of putting a computer together, just trying to how to get stuff unpacked, get the boxes open. Jeez, you gotta make everything so complicated. And once we get this memory in here, I'm going to shut the cameras off and kind of clean up my mess here a little bit, so when we put the motherboard in the case, we can set the case down on the bottom on its side. Okay, and I believe there is a notch right here, and you'll notice the notch is not centered. Okay, so there's really only one way these will go in, and that's you line that notch up with these. You gotta pull these little tabs back, and then they just drop right in. And these do take a little bit of force. They're not like the CPU, where you got to be extremely careful not to. Okay, and then they just kind of snap in place. looks like in place right there. And then the second one will go in the other gray slot. And it looks like it needs to go this way. That looks correct to me. Okay. A little bit of pressure to make sure it's going all the way. And you hear that click. And these are in place. Let's turn this around. And these are locked in where they're supposed to be. No, I don't think this one is. There it is. Okay, so those memory sticks are locked into place. And that's everything that we need to put on the motherboard now before we put it in the case. Alright, I got the case ready. Move the cameras a little bit. I want to do this standing up. I think it'll be easier so I can see better. I hope you all can see about what I'm doing here. Okay, we have the motherboard. The AIO goes in here like that. Let's set her in. It's got 9 standoffs on the bottom here. Now go in and you make sure everything is lining up with your I/O. Looks right so far. I think we got it. The I/O looks fine. Everything is in like it's supposed to be. I don't see any metal protrusions. One thing I learned online is that a lot of people, when they put it in, they won't get their I/O lined up quite right. And you'll have some problems with bent metal and stuff because you're forcing the I/O motherboard onto the I/O and it's not quite lined up right. But we can get to everything right here. I think we got it. And in the center here, right here, there's a little pin that also helps to make sure the holes line up. Here's what we're going to do is we're going to stagger these. We're going to put one on each corner first to make sure it is completely lined up like it's supposed to be. And that should just screw right on in. Without any problem. And yes, it did. I'm not going to tighten them yet. I'm just going to kind of get them started. Make sure I've got the right screw. We'll go to this top corner here. And that one is started. We'll get another one. Really encourage you, if you do this, to get a screwdriver that is magnetic, because it does make it much easier. Let's see, I've got one more to put here in the middle. I'm going to cross thread it. There we go. I always kind of take it real easy when I first start screwing. Just don't start cranking on it. Because these little bitty screws can cross thread real easy. So I just kind of lightly turn it a little bit until I can feel that it's going in and there's no drag or anything like that on it. If there's a little bit of drag on it or something, chances are you're cross threading it. and that could cause problems. You probably have to replace that riser on the case. And I don't believe this case came with any extra ones. I kind of spin it backwards, forwards a little bit until I feel that it not stripping or cross threading. This one here is wanting to cross thread on me. Why? That one's not wanting to go in. I got the wrong screw maybe? Yes, I do. Make sure you have the right screw. That's not the right one either. There we go. See, it's got that little flat edge on it. So there is a difference in the threads. You always got to make sure you're using the right one. Motherboards might be different than Asus. I don't know. This one, it's got that little screw that's got that washer looking thing on it. Okay, now I'm going to go to each corner first, and I'm just not going to torque it. I'm just going to snug it and make sure they're tight. And that should be it. That motherboard is in my case. The next step will be when we get the AIO and the case fans and the, what else, power supply. And then we'll be ready to go again. The biggest, probably the longest ordeal is going to get figuring out where all this wiring goes, because you got case fans, you got the RGB wires, all the wires for the I/O on top. It's going to be looking like spaghetti, and I am going to really make a big effort for cable management. This is my first build, and I want it to look right. I want it to be something I can be proud of. So I'm going to double check these screws one more time, but I'll do it off camera. This is going to do it for this video. And we'll see you next time. Next time we'll have the AIO and the power supply, and we'll continue putting my PC together. Bye for now.